Employees can make or break a company. While a high-value employee will bring passion, innovation, vision, and purpose as well as value to your workplace, a low-value employee can drain a workplace through their attitudes, creating an imbalance in the workplace, fighting with colleagues, causing grievances, and, most importantly, putting little or no effort into achieving success. Contrary to popular opinion, low-value employees do not necessarily have to be completely horrible at work. We have noticed it is sometimes a bustle to differentiate between low-value employees and employees who might be burnt out or facing distractions from other life aspects. So, we made a video on it. Welcome to Alux.com, where future billionaires come to get inspired. Number 1. Poor performance. This is the most obvious method to pinpoint a low-value employee. Is an employee contributing less than the other employees? A high-value employee would strive to meet up with or surpass other employees if possible. The amount of effort an employee puts into work can be seen in their performance results. How much success has been achieved over the working duration? Constantly failing at every task assigned to you, no matter how little, is a sign of an unmotivated or lazy worker. It's obvious how much effort is put into a project. A precise way of being able to tell how much output a worker is giving should be put in place. A low-value employee would often come up with poor performance results. Number 2. Apathy and a lack of passion. It is important to pay attention to the attitude of workers during work hours. How often do they participate in the workplace? How many contributions do they give to the project? It is quite easy to spot how enthusiastic a person is about work. They are eager to jump at any chance given. Every little opportunity is a chance to learn new things and share new knowledge with their co-workers. A low-value employee is indifferent about every task given to them. They avoid work when it's given and put little effort into it. When a task is assigned, they put in little to no effort and end up not achieving the maximum results desired. Their work has to be revised and new issues would be brought up. Low-value workers always look for a way out of work and are mostly late to work. Number 3. Constantly absent. This is noticed in all aspects of our lives. We find every excuse to avoid things we are uninterested in and always show up for those we enjoy. How often does a worker skip work? How many minutes does a worker spend for a bathroom or lunch break? When an employee more than often finds every little reason to skip work, it's obvious how uninterested they are in their place of work. An employee that feels excited at a workplace forgets to eat most times. The activities and attendance of workers should be thoroughly looked into. This, in turn, would show how much value a staff member adds to the workplace. Number 4. Lack of curiosity. Why do we have to do it this way? Can we add this to make it better? A high-value employee more times than often is guided by curiosity. During their free time, good workers do further research into the project that is assigned. They look for ways to improve them and look for ways to correct every little weakness that is detected. An employee that is invested shows up with new and exciting ways to tackle a problem. They ask questions about each of their projects and are open to learning. Curiosity is not an attitude that an unenthusiastic worker carries around. They complain about every little job given and hate when new ideas are brought up, because new ideas would mean new work, and that is an enemy for a low-value employee. Number 5. Lack of commitment. We prefer to invest in what we know we have a future in. What can I do about this? When a new project is brought up, a high-value employee would offer to take part in new and exciting ways to make it better. Most times, they would take up more work than is given to them. Developing new strategies to ease the workload is a very common attitude of staff focused on work. They take active roles in the workload. A low-value employee is easy to spot during working hours. They would hide behind group work and, in most cases, would work but not at maximum capacity. A low-value employee would submit a project later than the due date. Commitment towards work would always lead to the invention of new methods to tackle problems, and that is what a low-value employee lacks. Number 6. Bad communication. Communication is crucial at work. A little bit of knowledge not passed accurately or not passed at all can cause a rift between you and your co-workers. Every piece of information about work needs to be discussed and perfectly sorted out. Discussions concerning projects need to be tabled and ideas shared between each other. Interpretation of every piece of information passed is crucial in reaching the output of an office. A low-value employee is usually found silent during communication sessions. Bad communication can lead to gossip in the workplace. A low-value employee will bring down the determination of other employees and spread false information. Number 7. Incorporation of feedback. How well does a worker incorporate feedback and criticism into their work? A worker should be able to look through the work given more thoroughly and carefully, getting down into every form of correction. A low-value employee has little motivation and would blame every one of their mistakes on other factors. You would find any low-value employee saying a mistake was out of their control and creating excuses for every correction that is asked to be exacted. Number 8. Disregard for authority. A high-level employee follows directions and respects the authority put in place. A low-level employee dislikes taking direction. Questioning decisions and the competence of authority put in place are the ways they solve issues. A good employee would talk out every grievance the right way and avoid any disagreement. When every little piece of feedback and correction are applied to aggressively, a bad employee can be found. Faults should not be found. Instead, solutions should be. Number 9. Bad attitude. A low-value employee can drain out the passion in any workplace. A low-value employee finds more reasons than others to engage in fights. Every meeting would turn into a battlefield. This bad attitude can spread and affect a workplace as well as other workers. An imbalance is created when an employee works more than the other. They feel discouraged and tend to lean back. A low-value employee is always picking out the faults in the workplace and pitting colleagues against each other. Number 10. Resistance to change. The world is ever-changing, and to be able to keep up would be to adapt to every little change that presents itself. In workplaces, change is constant and will always arise. A high-value employee would accept and find a way around them. For change to be truly appreciated, the benefits and the advantages are to be looked at and weighed against the disadvantages. A low-value employee is the slowest to adapt. They're usually more focused on the disruption that change bears than the benefits. They tend to complain more and do not make any effort towards getting better or trying to be flexible as well as dynamic in their ways of doing things. Number 11. Lack of flexibility. Problems arising at work are a given phenomenon. They happen once in a while. A great worker should be open to looking for alternatives to solve them. They should talk about the problems that have arisen and look for a backdoor to them. A high-value employee views problems through the lens of speaking up, discussing, and seeking solutions to them. A low-value employee tends to use problems as a means to air their grievances. They would vent about problems without necessarily bringing up solutions to them, and would disagree with other workers for suggesting solutions to them. They feel unmotivated and would like a chance to vent to other colleagues. Number 12. Bad relationships with colleagues. Do you ever notice an employee that gets left out at work? Does your employee drag your others back during a project? A low-value employee would mostly be avoided during group projects. It might be harder to spot a low-value employee, but easier for their colleagues. A low-value employee delivers minimum output and participation. They tend to be avoided and left out during group work. Number 13. Arrogance or overconfidence. To be human is to have faults. Once in a while, it is normal to make mistakes, and right to own up to them. When an employee is quick to place their fault on others, believes that they can never be wrong, constantly looks down on their fellow employees, and believes that they are above others, they are low-value employees. Every issue must be talked out and spoken about between each other at all times. Number 14. Disregard for company rules and values. As irrelevant as the rules placed down in your workplace may seem, they were put in place for a reason. For the company to run smoothly, these rules and regulations must be followed smoothly. A low-value employee would disregard them and do as they see fit. Respect for the little things put in place goes a long way. Number 15. Little participation. When the workload is at its peak, employees tend to gather more work for themselves. A high-value employee shows investment in the workplace. Any of the workers who volunteer and sign up for every little activity during a project is considered of high value. A high-value worker would participate in every activity at work. A low-value worker is easier to spot because they tend to hide behind a group. They make no contributions and would hide behind those that made them. During activities that require more workforce, a low-value worker tends to withdraw and would be noticed gradually exiting the door. Even with the various steps taken while employing, it is still possible to employ a low-value employee. It's important to do a proper assessment, as a low-value employee can be confused with a worker burnt out from work or distracted by non-work activities. You've come to the end of today's video. It's impossible to always be at the top of the game in your workplace, but we must strive to be efficient and not be a burden to our co-workers. What differentiates a valuable employee from others is their effort to be better and the productivity they attain as a result. We made a video that pointed out habits that reduce our productivity, titled 15 Habits to Avoid to Become Highly Productive. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.